Hi, my name is Angela. I'm making this video. Um, First, to talk about the issue of race and the increasing amount of violence against African Americans and other people of indigenous or melanated, pigmented diasporas. I don't know. After Sandra Bland was murdered, we all know what happened. So I don't necessarily have to go through it. There are enough people speaking about it and enough people that know the truth. And I have faith that everything will be revealed and this murder will change a lot of naivete amongst white people and black people. People who are indoctrinated. They are desensitized to things that happen. And it's going to take this was a rude awakening for a lot of people. Some people choose to still remain sleep and stupid, but it won't be long before they wake up. Either wake up or look what happens. Sandra Bland was a beautiful woman, um, and I know all is divine. It was definitely her time, as her mom said, and but it still does not take away from the fact of how she was murdered. Um, and it was divine that it was that way. It was her time, and she left a mark on this world that will forever change a lot of minds, and I appreciate her for that, and I love her for that. I thank God for her, and I pray that her soul continues to evolve, and her spirit continues to evolve as I know it will. So, but anyway, not to just blow it off, but I'm experiencing discrimination now, housing discrimination right now. And I'm going to tell you my side of the story. Of course, there's two sides to every story. And whoever watches this, you can be the judge. And I'm in a place that is a few hours away from where Sandra Bland was murdered by that cop. It's also a very rural area, but this is a military town, which at first I thought was ugh. But now I'm kind of happy that we are here in a military town, because what military town needs reputation of murdering young African Americans or people of color by cops? This military town, Vernon Parish here, doesn't need that. Um, this is a military base, home to a lot of military employees. I'm sure there's military bases here and everything, whatever, and if people around the world saw that happen here, they would immediately think that America was weak, being that it happened in a place that is considered military, you know. But I just have to say that I'm experiencing housing discrimination right now. I moved into this place. This trailer is what I live in. And it's cheap rent, We got it. It was cheap. We moved from New Orleans, and we wanted to get into the place, get on our feet, and then get into another place, hopefully. This place is very cheap for rent. 450 actually is what I am currently being charged for rent, but we'll get into that later. And it's not a matter of cost, because we accepted it at 450. To start, actually, we took a look at this place. It was filthy. It was beyond dirty. The bathroom had mildew, mold, disgusting stuff, old shower curtains, The master bedroom had period panties in the room, which my husband had to pick up, and it actually made him sick. He caught the flu, and subsequently my daughter caught the flu. But it was so dirty, you know. But we felt, okay, well, the rent is cheap. I guess we can't ask for much. It's the country. Uh, as many black people are submissive to white people, and that comes from conditioning, constant conditioning over time, which is all a program, you know. But we'll get into that another time. But we accepted the place. We said we'll clean it, you know, figuring, hey, maybe they just don't clean the trailers or whatever, and because they're so cheap. The problem comes in, I've been had feelings about the trailer being so dirty, but trying to just let things go. We cleaned it, not a problem. Paying $4.50 for rent, not a problem, you know. But we asked, because when we originally called about the trailer, we were told $400 a month, $175 deposit. We came and looked at the trailer. It was dirty. We were still being told $400 a month, $175 deposit. Get up to the office, it changes to $450 a month, $175 deposit. All right, fine. Bigger trailer, it costs $450. Fine. So I ask, are there any other trailers for $400? Can we take a look at them? She says no. She's a white woman. We move in. Well, actually, we paid for this place February 24th, and we moved in February 26th, which means they had 2 days to clean this place. At least make it decent. At least clean the bathroom or something. They did nothing. And we had the lights on by the 25th. They did nothing. They didn't clean the place, which I had kind of expected. I don't know if I was, hoping too high, wishful thinking that they would have tried to at least straighten it up a bit. I really did expect that they would at least try, but they didn't. And they knew for 2 days that we were going to be coming and bringing our things and our children. So we get in. There's a trailer right in front of us that's vacant when we move in. The window's open. We can see there's a lot of furniture in there and stuff like that, but it was vacant. The window's not open, but the blind was up, so you could see that no one lived there. Not too long after we moved in, maybe a couple of weeks, if that, we watched them clean the place, move furniture around and stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're just moving some furniture out, putting it in another place. I don't know. Giving them the benefit of the doubt. See, white people don't realize we always give them the benefit of the doubt. Always. And they always, not all of them, but for the most part, they tend to let us down. So, but anyway, giving them the benefit of the doubt, okay, they cleaning this place. Then some white people move in, a few months, 3 months or so roll by. My family decides they want to move out here. My husband's mother and father. So I go to take a look at a couple of places, being nosy. Try to see how the other trailers look for them. And I see that they're clean. Ready to move in. And I'm like, well, how come ours wasn't clean? We paying $450, which everybody else is paying $400. But back with the white people who were moved into the trailer in front of us, not too long after we moved into ours, they're paying $400. So if you could rent us this place for $450 and it was dirty, how come you couldn't rent us a place for $400 and it was dirty? You know what I'm saying? Not saying that we wanted a dirty place, but my point is that place was dirty. So, or not dirty, but you still had a lot of stuff in it. We could have looked at that one and decided, hey, we wanted that one for $400 as opposed to $450. Just trying to save some money. But it's not the point. We accepted the place for $450. because they told us that this was the only one they had and someone was coming to get it the next day. So, which turns out not to be true. They had trailers all over. And come to find out, I'm not the only person who they've done this to. Other black tenants have experienced the same thing. I've already spoken to two. One of them is friends of my fiance and my husband. And the other one just moved in. 3 black girls. She moved them in. I mean, she showed them a dirty trailer on the other side of the trailer park and practically refused to show them a cleaner trailer until they pushed the issue. You know, um, the trailer that my husband's friend moved into was dirty. Upon moving in, they had to clean theirs, and they're paying $425. Okay, but it's not a point of the price. It's the point of, I feel like you are discriminating among some people, giving away the dirty trailers to the black people, making them feel like, oh, these niggas need to settle for what the fuck they can get, and making all the trailers nice and decent for the white people. Granted, there are black people who have moved here, and the trailer was clean when they moved in. All right, so I won't say that is all of the trailers, and there are black people that's paying $400, but those trailers are so small that they have no choice but to charge $400. My trailer is a bit bigger. So because our trailer was a bit bigger, I had no problem paying $450. But being that the trailer was so dirty, I feel like maybe we should have been offered to at least pay $400, and then we asked to see a trailer for $400. One was vacant, and they did not show it to us. By law, that's illegal. To keep people off other parts of the premises and not allow them a choice in negotiations and as to what they might want to rent. That's against the law. But see, people out here, maybe in the country, in Hicksville, or I don't know they think they're above the law. They just don't pay attention to the law. That's right now what I'm going through. My family is going to be moving out here in a week. Their trailer is getting nice and fixed up. That's only after me going off on their asses. They called the police on me for going off on them, but they're the ones who breaking the law. They didn't care about my children moving into a dirty place. My husband got sick and couldn't work for a week. He had a job upon moving out here, and he couldn't start. He couldn't even go and put in the application. He was so sick. You know, I had never seen my husband this sick, this ill before. I mean, he's caught a cold, but this was a whole new kind of sick for him. Thank God he's healed from it. But that's it for now. I just wanted to record that part. Rest in peace, Sandra Bland. Rest in peace, Jonathan Sanders. Rest in peace to the Native American Indian activist who died. I can't remember your name right now, but shout outs to you as well. We won't forget you either. Let me see if I can find your name just so I can say it. I don't see your name. What's your name? Easy, I can just find it here. You know, rest in peace to Rexdale Henry, the Indian activist who was also murdered in jail, or he died in jail in the hands of police, in police custody, and they're saying he committed suicide. He is climbing up the trending charts, and we can't forget our Indian brothers and sisters either. Our white brothers and sisters, we love y'all too, but there's just some whites that you can't trust them. Sorry. Um, Not saying that all y'all need to pay for what happened to us during those times. No, we don't want that, but it needs to be acknowledged. We need to be reparated, and something needs to happen. But I need to also say I am a sufferer of PTSD due to growing up in foster care and the abuse that I suffered, depression and anxiety. I suffer all of that. Um, I've had suicidal thoughts. I have never had a suicidal intent ever. That's just because I've been through so much that sometimes it hurts. Like maybe those who supposed to care about me would really care if I wasn't here. But other than that, no, I would never kill myself. I have two beautiful children to live for. God gave me them. God gave me this life. And I've always pushed forward through all my depression, all my pain, all of my anxiety. No matter what, I have always pushed forward through it. And I've always been stronger than it. I have been to college. I've always maintained good grades. Maybe, I took a break in college now because I had a car accident. But, you know, um, I've always been diligent in my studies. I've never gotten any scholarships, except for when I transferred to Full Sail, and that was only for 2,800. Um, I would never kill myself. I have tried to definitely, I've definitely been getting help for my anxiety and my PTSD and depression, and I'm healing from it. I guarantee that, but I've had this for many years. So yes, I will plead a diagnosis of PTSD when in certain situations because I've gone through it for years. Now I am recovering. You know what I'm saying? I can finally say that I can see myself out of this depression state that I've been in for so many years that I have ignored trying to push forward with my life. That just because somebody is an advocate for depression and anxiety or whatever doesn't mean that they want to kill themselves. That means they're trying to make people aware that this is really out here. People really suffer from it and they need help. Because guess what? I also just had a baby. My baby is not even 2 yet. So that means I'm still in the postpartum stage. So, yeah, those thoughts come, but never in an intent. Because guess what? I have power over myself. I am God of myself. You know, um, I acknowledge that there's God. I feel like God has given me power to be able to take control of my life and, not succumb to all the abuse that I went through, Um, I've been working hard I've been on a spiritual path, awakening, and I'm very happy at this point in time in my life. I've always been happy, always been able to be sort of content in knowing that things will get better for me. But I've had to go through a lot of struggling, and it wasn't always easy. And no, I've never tried to kill myself. I've never done any, any hard drugs. Yes, I have smoked marijuana. Marijuana is also being legalized for veterans with PTSD at this current moment. So it doesn't matter that I smoke marijuana. You know, it's not fair. Somebody chooses to recreationally do something, so they should be in their death held accountable for it. But all of the victims so far have been accused of having marijuana in their system. What do these cops have in their system when they commit these crimes? What did George Zimmerman have in his system when he killed Trayvon Martin? You know, we are all one. And once people realize that, all the people that's doing all this hating and killing, those people will perish. Because we are all one. We are all a part of God. We are all God's children, white, black, or whatever. But it's going to come a time where they're going to have to accept the fact that, I don't know how to say this without seeming like I'm trying to be biased, but there's going to come a time where they're going to have to accept that, hey, our genes are dominant. of theirs. It is our humanism, our ultra humanism, our strong DNA, our strong genes that ultimately, subconsciously intimidates them. And this is why other races, and particularly mostly whites, not always whites, but it's mostly whites, that react to us this way. They subconsciously are threatened. And I like to shout out a couple of people for helping me. Mo, you know who you are. Kayla, you disappeared, girl. I don't know where you at. Hope you're okay though. Uh, and I just have to say this. Yeah, I want to write a book about the things that I've gone through in foster care. I don't always feel like I have time to do that. Maybe I'll start making videos about it. If y'all want to ask me questions about things that happen in foster care, how did I overcome it? Start asking me some questions, and I will gladly answer. Um, I am working on doing more videos of myself to build my confidence, because for a while I was a bit broken, but I always knew that I would find a way out, and I continued to pray and have faith in God, that I would get better. And now I'm finally being able to, I'm so blessed at this very point, because a lot of people don't get the opportunity that I'm getting right now to be able to recover from depression, recover from PTSD, and also be able to understand others who go through it. I love all people. I always have compassion for all people, regardless of race, gender, whatever. But I am very passionate about my black people, my melanated people. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's time. We acknowledge the fact that, hey, our DNA is stronger. This is what threatens them. And they get help and we get help. And I don't know, some kind of way we heal each other by exposing uncomfortable truths, which I appreciate MTV for doing that, documenting white people. It upset a lot of people, but guess what? Hey, I'm glad. We need a show like that every week. Yes, we do. I just pray to God that people don't just let this go, which I know they aren't. They got some stupid people, but I know they aren't. And I thank you, Kim Kardashian. I may not have always been in favor of you, but thank you for tweeting about Sandra Bland. And your daughter is beautiful. I have a little daughter as well. About her age, maybe a little bit younger. She's beautiful. You don't really look all that white. Anyway, you look more Armenian. I don't know if that's what you are, but I think that's what you are. You don't totally look, European, maybe Spanish, but no. Um, um, what else do I want to say? It's gonna take people to realize, black people to realize and accept who they are, which they are gods. We are young gods, and we all are young gods. But people need to realize that our lineage, black people who try to act like they're above race, no, you know what I'm saying? I don't care how enlightened or spiritual you are. I feel like it's always needs to be paid attention to. You need to always pay attention to the lineage of which you come from, of which you were born into, of which you were incarnated into. Because guess what? I feel blessed to have been incarnated as a black woman. That's a blessing to me. So, um, maybe I was white before. I don't know, but all I can say is I feel blessed, and I am grateful for my lineage, my strong lineage as an African American woman. I would never deny that. I'm very grateful. People we need to realize as a race that our genes are superior. We are the strongest of the human genes. And instead of always being walked upon by other races and looked down on, we should be respected and admired just as much as other races, if not more. Because we've been here. We've been invented the shit. We did it, everything. So, but bye y'all. That's the video.